Don't point the finger at Boeing. It's not always their fault when something goes down. There was Pinterest action flow today. Were you able to capitalize on it? And also, how I depend on the Newsbeat Live Room, our hashtag Newsbeat Strong, as well as my final thoughts. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. How important really is news flow? Is it more important than actually looking at a chart? Well, based on the P&L of the top traders I know in the world, it's not even an opinion, it's a statistical fact. However, how does one actually transition to utilizing news flow and combining whatever they learned on the charts to create the ultimate trading product, the one that doesn't fear FOMO, the one that doesn't suffer psychological toxicity, the one that prevents himself from doing stupid things throughout the day, and the one that is actually consistently profitable with Wall Street's highest Sharpe ratios? How do you get to being that person? We know they exist. Does it take a special sort of human being? I don't think so. I don't think people are really inherently born to be traders. I don't really think the doctor, the lawyer, the engineer, the teacher is less qualified than the person who plays video games or the accountant or the computer nerd or the athlete or whomever that you may be. Today, Boeing um, was actually in the news again. If you haven't realized recently, Boeing was talked about after an Iranian airliner, Ukrainian airliner located in Iran flying to Ukraine was downed. And immediately, Boeing stock took it on the chin. Also, was there easy way to make thousands of dollars today? Made about $4,000 in one quick Pinterest trade today. A lot of Newsbeat Live members did well as well. I'm going to show you how I did that. Before I go on, you are going to agree, pause, and read this, and then hit play when you are ready. Thank you so much for agreeing to that. If you do like any of my services, make sure that you check out the link within the description. Let's go right into it. We're going to start off, ladies and gentlemen, with drumroll Boeing. And there was a lot of drama, so to speak, in Boeing recently. Here's a little bit of a daily chart. I'll make it look a little less nerdy for you with all my trend lines and whatever. I'll just remove some of the parameters here, so you'll just pretty much see the candlesticks, some trend lines, and you basically see here Boeing had a very big move on Tuesday. Yes, we were part of that option activity, that news flow that did drive Boeing up on Tuesday. We caught that move. We were part of this move over here that shot Boeing up through the ceiling. Very easy home run idea. Very easy to make money on buying at the bottom here. The truth is, this is all news flow. Do you think that Boeing randomly decided to spike up here? No, there was rumors that Warren Buffett or Berkshire and Hathaway, do you consider them one entity? You know, if you say Warren Buffett's buying something or Berkshire and Hathaway, it's pretty much the same thing. We're not talking about Warren Buffett buying a hamburger from McDonald's, even though I guess Berkshire and Hathaway does own a lot of McDonald's shares. But with that being said, news flow is moving the market. Technicals do matter, but what I am telling you is it's not the only thing that matters. And as long as you're able to incorporate more things within your arsenal, you're going to be better prepared to get to the next level. There's going to be a lot of exciting things coming up this year. I'm also going to show you how you can actually produce a track record that may have some legitimacy behind it without risking, drumroll, $1, 1 penny of your money. How's that possible, Mr. Melnick? You keep watching the Newsbeat show, and I'm going to show you exactly how that's possible. But don't you think for 1 second that Boeing shot up here on no news? This was rumors that Berkshire and Hathaway took a stake in the company. It was all over CNBC. Berkshire and Hathaway declined to comment. If you were buying Boeing down here, how easy would it been for you to make money? This is a 5-minute chart all the way down here on Boeing. Well, very easy. And we're going to show you how we did something similar to that today. But on Boeing today, it was a little bit different. It was a little bit different on Boeing. So earlier today in Boeing, we were talking today how there were reports coming out from the United States that um, Iran shot this plane down. Now, some people, as soon as you use the word like Iran or Ukraine or United States or China or any of these other, or Russia or any of these other geopolitically charged countries, if you will, it turns their brains, I feel, into a negative place. So I implore you, when you hear these things, and maybe not everyone, not me anymore, but there are people out there like that. And you have to respect that fact that there are people out there who think like that. When you hear these things, think of it like this. As a trader, your job is, how do I make money off that situation? If you don't know how to, ignore it. So let me go ahead and show you Boeing. Um, Rumors came out earlier that the United States was saying that it was Iran that shot down that commercial airliner. Now, you might be saying, well, why should that justify Boeing going from 332 all the way to 341 in a matter of, what, an hour? Went up about 10 points in an hour? Because you have to realize that Boeing has been having the whole engine issue recently and the whole issue with their planes where they were going down and having accidents. So as soon as this happened, it was almost like the boy who cried wolf. And every time he cried wolf, there really was no wolf, and there was no wolf. And then finally, when the wolf came, the boy cried wolf, and none of the villagers came to help the boy. The similar thing here was with Boeing, except in you know, this time it wasn't Boeing's fault that all this drama happened. This was not the fault of Boeing. It was Iran who's rumored to have shot down this commercial airliner. So if you think anything technically on your chart could have showed you this coming, it couldn't have. You would have not seen something with this volume coming. This is a pure news flow idea. And people who are, tell you, oh, I don't use news flow to make money. Maybe they don't, but that doesn't mean they're not doing the smart thing. New traders in the room are having phenomenal days following this news flow. And after this move, I just want to show you Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was on, and we're sitting there listening to a YouTube of Justin Trudeau speak. We were literally sitting there listening to Justin Trudeau speak. And the whole time for since, what was it, about 2 o'clock, guys? I was sitting there on YouTube waiting for Justin Trudeau to come out and speak because he was going to comment because some Canadians died on that flight. He came out and he said, according to his sources, he said, I am sorry to add something to the effect that I'm sorry to add more pain to the victims' families to say. And we already knew what he was going to say next. We knew the prime minister was going to go ahead and insinuate that Iran shot down that plane. Now, if Iran did it, there's no reason to point a finger at Boeing. So right over here, we buy in Boeing. Literally, for a late day play, Boeing ramps up about $2.50 in 10 minutes for like a 245 play. I sat there, haven't done a trade since prior to 11 o'clock, or, since this Boeing thing. Waited all day doing nothing, sitting on my hands up until that moment where I knew I could buy Boeing. Made money. Now let me show you some other news flow. Pinterest. And you tell me, and you tell me if news flow isn't the most important thing for a trader, because I believe that prop traders will find the most success as Newsbeat Live members. And I'm not, and all traders in general, but especially prop traders, because, the whole thing now is, oh, why would I want to be a prop trader? I have to pay all this money a month and I have all these commissions and fees. Are you kidding me? As a prop trader, you know how much buying power you get? If I were to take this prop trading challenge, I'd be the top prop trader in the firm. Like that. I would probably do about 7, 8 trades a month. and I would have the highest sharp ratio that anybody has ever seen in their entire life. Would blow the socks off their feet. Why? Because I would just simply wait for stupid things like this. Pinterest, right over here, had increased option activity, had increased news flow. We bought in right over here. We bought in. I didn't take a lot. I took, to be accurate, approximately $10,000 worth of options. $10,000 worth of options. I sold. Now remember, $10,000. Think about how much $10,000 worth of stock gets you of Pinterest. I'll tell you, 500 shares. I took $10,000 worth of options. You know what happened? In 1 minute, Pinterest went from right over here, 19 and change, all the way to $20.30, a 40-cent pop within 60 seconds. You tell me that news flow doesn't matter. Do you realize I had enough people spamming in the room? I could have sworn people were hitting on me. Like if I showed my wife the Newsbeat live chat, I would be in a serious relationship problem right now. I probably wouldn't even be on the show tonight. I'd be sitting there saying, honey, they didn't mean it. Right over there. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. How much do you think I made off that $10,000 bet within? It wasn't 2 minutes. It was less than 2 minutes. I don't know, maybe I'm guessing 60 to 90 seconds. How much money do you think I made with a $10,000 bet within 60 to 90 seconds? Go ahead and write it in right now in chat. Slap the like button if you like where this is going. We're going to let Newsbeat Live members guess as well. Wilson, $2,000. Kelly, $2,000. Ken, $4,000. I made approximately $4,000. $4,000. I made 40% of my money in under 2 minutes. I'm not sure if it was 90 seconds. I'm not sure because I bought it on this 1 minute bar and I chucked a huge chunk on the next 1 minute bar. I made about approximately rounded off $4,000. You tell me what technically over here, if you saw this on Pinterest, this is a one, and these bars are just bad prints, obviously. You tell me here, if you saw a 1 minute thing in Pinterest, why you would buy right after this bar. You tell me. You tell me why you would do that. Show me what on the chart is showing you that the next bars after that would look like this, followed by this. My day was over at this point. I mean, my day was honestly over in the morning when I did a simple apple, a simple apple one and done this morning. That was basically it. This was like, it was easy, dare I say, it was easy money. Apple just popped up today beautifully, really beautifully. But back to the Pinterest. This is the type of action flow that you need to be a successful trader. This is how you start combining news flow with everything else you are doing as a trader. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not doing things like this, if you're sitting there and you're swinging for the fences and you want to bet a lot and you want to, hold and you want to swing and whatever, that's you. But I promise you, there's a reason why we're the largest, fastest growing trading room on Wall Street. I promise you there's a reason behind that. I promise you it's not because I have a face only a mother can love. I promise you it's not because of the sensual, soothing sound of my voice. I promise you it's not because I play video games well. It's because people are finding success utilizing these things. Mark, so many people rely on you in the Newsbeat Live Room. Maybe. But you know how much I rely on the Newsbeat Live Room? Did anybody ever talk about that? Look at step 3. How do I rely on the Newsbeat Live members. What do the Newsbeat Live members bring to me? I'll show you right over here. I sort of brought it up. There we go. So I was having a fantastic day. I was up over 4 grand because I did more than that trade today. But I had a, fantastic, it's honestly, when you're trying to go for 7 figures every single year, you need about, on average, $5,000 a day per trading day. A little less, it's 4,000 and change. So really, it's on par for me. I need to really bang out some 40, 50, $60,000 days if I'm going to reach $1 million. Like I know that deep down, and I go for it every year. But I asked the Newsbeat Live Room tonight, for better or for worse, I asked them, what is your favorite overnight? When I asked the Newsbeat Live Room my English was sort of crappy there. I literally asked the Newsbeat Live Room at 3:46 p.m., what is your favorite overnight? And what I did was I told myself this before I show you, which obviously you could see it's beyond. I said to myself, if there's a unanimous talk, I'm just going to go for it. Look at that. Beyond, 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 beyond. You see that? You see that? So at the end of the day, when I'm actually looking for an overnight trade, I just lean on the Newsbeat Live Room. Now, for better or the worse, I don't know what Beyond is going to do tomorrow. It might work, might not. But just to show you, Beyond right now is up about 2 points after hours. And I took it home with me. And there's a huge gap fill to 97.85. And there's an overhead target of 108.17. And it's the Newsbeat Live Room that got me involved in Beyond Meat. And it's that sort of community where in certain market environments, traders in the room are much better than me. In environments where there's a lot of news flow, I am going to crush it for myself. And I am going to do very well. But being able to utilize everybody's strength almost as one functioning full unit, to me, is the power of a community. When I'm having a decent day and I just want to make more money and I just literally just, for lack of a better word, I'm just asking the room, hey, what's your favorite overnight? What am I thinking deep down in my head? How are you guys going to pay me today? How are you guys going to pay me today? What do you like? Beyond, beyond, beyond? Okay, let's bring it on. So what do I do after? Whether you're in the room or not, at that point, I go ahead and I just opened up a few Beyond calls, very light, 3:55 p.m. Bought next 3 of next week Beyond $90 calls, paid $4 for them. Very light, right at the close. You're in front of your computer or not, you get this information. Next, I want to talk about our Newsbeat strong. I didn't screenshot in the room, but I wrote it down today, and I thought this was my favorite thing. So we're going to do our Newsbeat strong. I basically, every single day, I take a comment in the room, and I just try to share it with you because it inspires me. And remember, yesterday I was telling you about the news flow coming back. Came back today. Again, what a coincidence. One trader reached out to me and he's like, Mark, I just signed up for your room 2 weeks ago. I made 3 times my annual subscription today. And I'm like, whoa. Josh says, one of the things that surprised me most when I first started trading with you, Mark, is your lack of size on positions throughout the day. I always thought if you want to make good money, you have to be taking size. Just the opposite. Although there is a time for it, but that's been a game changer for me. And a lot of traders think that they need to do these certain things. They need to be in a bunch of positions throughout the day. But I'm telling you, Sharpe ratio is the key to being considered and respected on Wall Street as a good trader. It's why when I brought my resume to tier one firms, They come to me and they're like, "How much money do you want and when can you start?" That's the type of response I get when I bring in my track record. When I did bring in my track record, I never accepted any of the jobs. I'd much rather be a father and take care of my kids at home and just have an office. But if you stop and you think about it for a second, I want to get you to that point. I don't really care if you want to work for a big tier one firm or not, but I would love for you to be consistent enough where you can have the there's a couple prop firms out there and a couple traders who are in the prop firms reached out to me and they said, "Mark, I have the highest Sharpe ratio, not the highest P&L, but the highest Sharpe ratio in the entire firm." You know what he told me? Ask any prop firm this, but he told me they offered me as much money as I want. He was at $250,000. They offered him $1 million, and they said they would raise it to $3 million 30 days later if he's performed. From 250,000 to 3 million. He started with a $5,000 deposit. He grew, he proved himself as a Newsbeat Live member. He increased his Sharpe ratio phenomenally, and he shows that he knows to just how to make money consistently. I will again, I'll take the Pepsi challenge. The Newsbeat Live Room is the most consistent group of traders on the planet, bar none. I'll take the Pepsi challenge for the sheer size of our room and the amount of consistently profitable traders, bar none, most consistent trading family on the planet. And a lot of traders who are not there yet or who are going there or trying or haven't even been part of this yet, you will get there eventually, I believe. I humbly believe that you will get to where you need to be as a trader by having successful people rub off around you. Because the way we do things here is we're not in some like hypomanic serotonin, you know, binge of just scalping, scalping, scalping all day. And I am a trader who came from that background. And that's a background where you can be like, I can be profitable, but I can't really help the people around me. And there are people out there are gurus out there are educators out there are people out there who do that, and they do it well for themselves, perhaps, but they can't help anyone around them. I used to be that person. I used to broadcast as that person. I've been broadcasting, I'm going on my 13th year. 13th year as a trading broadcaster. 21st year I'm going on as a trader. And when I stop and I think about that, I think about how much I've grown throughout the whole process. It's not just about making money. How you make money is the most important thing in the world. Sharpe ratio would not be a thing if it's just about how much money you make. Anybody can buy a ton of a certain stock, go stupidly heavy, and make a lot of money on one big trade, and they'll look like a genius when they show you their numbers. But it takes a certain environment, it takes a certain strategy that combines news and technical analysis to get to the point where you can be this successful, profitable trader. You will realize, as everyone else does, ladies and gentlemen, the person that's standing in front of your way from becoming wildly successful is always yourself. No matter what situation you're in, you will be the sole reason for your success and you will be the sole reason for your failure. And you are going up this treacherous path, which most traders fall down from. And you are climbing up this treacherous path up to a castle, like Harrenhal from Game of Thrones, nerdy reference. And you just keep climbing up that path, and a lot of people fall off the path and they plunge to their dooms. But what the Newsbeat Live Room I consider is the Newsbeat Live Room is like a bunch of traders who have ropes around their waist and they attach you to a rope and they're pulling you and they're giving you boots and they're giving you lights and they're making sure and they're holding you up in your hard times and pushing you forward during your great times. That's the nerdiest analogy I could possibly think of when I try to find a comparable analogy to what we tried to do here. News flow is king of the market. Don't let the people who tell you otherwise are the people who don't know how to utilize it effectively. By utilizing news flow, you are not only taking advantage of humans, you're taking advantage of black boxes and robots across the spectrum. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. If you like any of anything that we said today and you're interested in potentially joining, link in the description. Take advantage of it now. You need to take the first step to change your career. We will be here waiting for you. Happy trading, make money. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live Trading broadcast. Have a wonderful evening.